Hey folks, today is Friday, August 23rd, 2019. Godspeed Spider-Man. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here every week to talk about the video game news. Let's get you guys caught up. Before we do anything, while I have you here, captive, housekeeping. PAX West is next week, and we're going to be there. We're going to be there on Friday specifically at 12 p.m. We're going to be doing a meetup, a meet and greet type thing at the Discord booth. No relation to why I'm wearing this shirt. And also, we have a panel. We're going to be doing a live version of Gameranx Live, the show we live stream every Tuesday here. That'll be at 6 p.m. on Friday in the Raven Theater. So, if you're at PAX West on Friday, come hang out, come say hi to us. We'd really love to see you. But let's get into the news. The first thing is Sony. A lot of Sony talk this week, not even talking about Spider-Man, but about their plans for the future. So the first thing, earlier in the week, I believe it was Monday, during Gamescom, it has been announced that Sony has purchased Insomniac Games. A lot of people were like, wait, that wasn't already a thing? They're making exclusive games, it makes sense, but they have now officially done it. Insomniac is now a Sony official studio. But Sean Layden, head of Sony gaming stuff, went on record in an interview saying some interesting things about their whole thought process here. And the quote that blew up and freaked a lot of people out was this one right here. "We must support the PlayStation platform," he says. "That is non-negotiable. That said, you will see in the future some titles coming out of my collection of studios which may need to lean into a wider installed base." So a lot of people have been interpreting that as, oh my god, Sony wants to take some of their games to other platforms. They're no longer going to be exclusive. A lot of people out there want no games to be exclusive, and they're thinking that this is the beginning of that. And I would say, hang on, because context matters. While there is room for speculation that maybe they're implying that they are going to be bringing some of their games to PC, the actual quote itself from Bloomberg is also with this part. "The question was brought up with the particular concept of multiplayer titles designed to be played on personal computers that may see broader distribution." That is specifically what I think Sean Layden is talking about here because of the context before that quote. So I do see that as something a little bit more of a certain push, not saying Last of Us 2 on Xbox One and PC, but more smaller things and specific multiplayer titles. There are already Sony interactive titles that are much smaller, multiplayer focused, that are on other platforms like PC already. But I mean, the article mentions the fact that Spider-Man PS4 sold 13 million copies. They have the install base for that stuff already, and that's not what they're thinking. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. I think it's still an interesting quote, and if you want to read up on the full context of the interview in Bloomberg, that'll be linked in the description as well as everything else we talk about, but let's move on. Also, catching up a little bit, Gamescom 2019 has been rolling out this week. Monday, we had Gamescom Live presented by Jeff Keighley, and we got a bunch of new announcements, reveals, stuff like that. For me, the highlights were first finally getting a look at that new game Disintegration behind one of the guys who created Halo with this new studio. Unfortunately, it's not really my cup of tea from what I've seen, but still, we got a look at it. We also got an extended look at Stranding with 2 new character trailers, as well as a little bit of gameplay, but it doesn't really show anything other than pissing and the fact that Jeff Keighley is in the game. You know what? He's a genuine fan. Shout out to him. Proud of him. That's cool. I want to be in a video game. Also, Kerbal Space Program 2 has been announced. That was a bit of a surprise. That was cool. Ultimately, it was a pretty interesting Gamescom. If you want to get caught up on everything, we actually did a video breaking down all the Gamescom new game announcements. That'll be linked in the description if you want. Tom, what's your favorite thing from Gamescom?
Yakuza Collection.
Yo, Yakuza Collection, baby! Also, do not forget, since we love talking about this game here, Yakuza Collection remastering the PlayStation 3 games. It's going to be 3, 4, and 5. 3 is out right now, and the other 2 games are going to roll out. They're going to be in 1080p, 60 FPS, a little freshened up, and that's a series, if you haven't heard us say it enough, you gotta get into. Now, moving on, let's talk briefly about Rockstar's next thing. It wouldn't be a week without some speculation, and there's been a lot floating around recently, so I want to talk about it. The first thing is a title or some sort of thing, some software submitted to the Australian Games Rating Board that was titled Bonaire from Rockstar Games, and it was refused classification. But still, we don't know what it is. What is Bonaire? A lot of people are speculating that since it is the name of an island, some sort of thing similar to Guarma, an expansion for Red Dead Redemption 2. It could also just definitely be a Red Dead Online expansion, which is a little more disappointing. But it doesn't matter because it was refused classification, so we don't really know much else. Who knows? Maybe it was just a random fluke. Maybe it was a red herring. I have no idea. But still, that has been fueling speculation alongside the fact that Rockstar North has taken down their banner on the front of their building that was the promo for Red Dead Redemption 2. A lot of people are saying they're taking it down. That means they're stopping development on Red Dead Online, and now they're going to work on something new and announce something new. I don't think that's like immediately going to happen, but people love to speculate, so I'll give you that. A lot of people throwing around Grand Theft Auto 6 or Bully 2. I have no idea. I can't even bet money on this stuff anymore. There's been a lot of Bully talk a lot lately. I have no idea what a Bully 2 would be like, but I would love to see it. I want to know what you guys want to see from Rockstar. Let me know in the comments. But in some Cyberpunk news, we got a look at their newest single from Samurai, the in-game band. They just released their second song. It's called, what's it called?
Oh shit, did they?
Yeah, they did.
What's it called?
Never Fade Away. You're the music guy. Let us know if it's good or not.
I mean, Chipping In was really good.
Music man, Andrew Cavier. That'll be linked in the description below if you want to check it out, as well as a huge batch of new screenshots coming out of Gamescom and just CD Projekt Red. There's a lot to look at here. It's going to have RTX, so we've got some screenshots showing off that. We've gotten a look at what seems to be some new characters, maybe NPCs, some looks at some new environments. I'm very excited. Information continues to trickle out, so we're keeping you guys updated. Also, because it seems like you guys are foaming at the mouth for anything from this game. But now let's run down a bunch of other things linked in the description below I think you should check out. The first thing is a little homework, a little reading, because I always try and recommend articles for you guys to read. We talk about video games so much, you should do your homework, you should be well read on them. This is an awesome piece where an interviewer went and traveled to Montana to interview and hang out with Joel Jewett, one of the co-founders of Neversoft, the studio behind Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. For me, as a younger boy playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and then Guitar Hero, him and Neversoft in my brain was like a household name. So I thought this interview was awesome. It's just a feel-good interview. He's retired. He's living his life. He's living out his Tony Hawk millions, and it's a feel-good story. We also now have a good extended look of gameplay for the Square Enix Avengers game. This is essentially the whole intro tutorial area of the start of the game. This is what I got to see and check out at E3. It's pretty much exactly the same. No, nothing has really been changed. And it's weird. I don't know. It looks fine. Previews and stuff from Gamescom have now finally outlined what the game is going to be. There's going to be a hub area, and then you choose missions. There are going to be hero missions, which you play as a select designated hero. Those are like the story missions. And then there are Warzone missions, which are the missions that you can jump in and endlessly replay with friends and choose different characters. The fact that we had to read a preview for us to be told that, and the fact that they're not actually showing that off, is weird, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I love Marvel anything, so I'm down. We also got a new trailer for the new character pack for Mortal Kombat. A lot of interesting stuff. Sindel, Spawn will eventually drop. Love Spawn. Super happy to see that. Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. Also, no Ash Williams, but we do have the Joker, which looks like the younger version of the Joker from Injustice. That's fine. I know. Why do you hate it so much? He looks fine.
I think he looks bad.
You look bad. And also, we got a trailer for Minecraft, because now, although the super duper graphics pack has been canceled, they are giving it ray tracing support. And honestly, it substantially changes the look of the game, and I'm kind of into it as like a weird flex. Yes, mods are a thing too, we get it, but all of those things are linked in the description below if you want to check them out. The next story is actually another PlayStation one with the PlayStation 5 floating around, sort of, not really. So this has surfaced what looks to be a patent for a PlayStation 5 developer kit. So essentially this is what the developers get their hands on beforehand with the specific hardware that allows them to work on and make upcoming next generation PlayStation games. That's I'm very layman's explaining it, but essentially what it is very much often does not actually look like the final hardware retail unit. Look back in history, a lot of dev kits for different consoles look totally wacky and out there compared to the final product, but still this does give us a little bit of a glimpse of things. We see USB ports, we see a disk drive. It also is in the shape a little bit of like a V with a lot of ventilation for heating. It also looks like they can be stackable. Do we think the PlayStation 5 is going to look like this? I would say no, don't count on that. But we have also seen mock-ups floating around. I believe Dreamcast guy randomly tweeted one out saying it was the PlayStation 5. It's a very interesting render, taking some of the concepts from the patent and applying it. It's kind of fun to speculate. Ultimately, I don't think you should take any of this as anything other than the fact that things are ramping up. There is going to be next generation consoles very soon. We talk about it all the time between Scarlet and this. it's happening, so start saving your money, I guess, if you're a console player. Also, which is kind of cool, shout out to Dead by Daylight for always getting really crazy new characters and properties. They've announced that coming in September, there is going to be a Stranger Things update with both the Demogorgon. It's got Steve Harrington and Nancy Wheeler as playable characters. The Demogorgon is in it, and there's a new map, and it's the Hawkins Laboratory. Pretty sweet, pretty cool if you want to check that out. But also, just a PSA as well, the alpha is live on PlayStation for Modern Warfare's 2v2 gunfight mode. You can download it and play it this weekend. It is very fun, and I'm not even like a big Call of Duty player. So yeah, but that's it. That's what we got for you this week. A lot of interesting talk, a lot of Sony news. Sorry, Xbox fans. We'll have probably a lot more in the next week or so. But let's do the console giveaway we do every single week. You know how this goes down by now. There's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You enter once, then you're entered for good. And then every single week, we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. So this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to find out how to send you your console. But now let's talk about this stuff going on this week. Actually, first, again, if you missed it earlier, PAX West, come say hi to us. We'll be there all day Friday, walking around, 12 p.m. at the Discord booth, and 6 o'clock p.m. at the Raven Theater doing our live thing if you want. But I want to know your thoughts on Sony going multi-platform. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a big thing, but more of a subtle thing. Your thoughts? Also, Gamescom 2019. Were you about it? What was your favorite announcement? There's a lot of stuff we didn't have time to cover, so I do want to know what you guys think down there. But that's really it. So let me know in the comments. Anything you want, we'll be down there as much as possible. But if you got anything else for me, or if you want to yell at me, hit me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. But thank you guys for coming around. Thank you for watching every Friday. We appreciate it. Clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And if you're new, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But regardless, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.